Yep, this thing. Is that your watch or is that this thing? Okay.
Too many things beeping over there.
Yeah.
Um, all right. It is 7 o'clock. Welcome to the January 2nd, 2020 City Council meeting. We'll start tonight with roll call, please.
Here.
Daniels,
Here.
Carmichael,
Here.
Murdoch,
Here.
and Councilmember Ritter is absent this evening.
Okay. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our first item tonight is our consent agenda. We have approval of our minutes from our council meeting of December 19th and approved pay ordinance number 869. Any questions or discussion of the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Carmichael,
Yes.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carried.
Okay, our next item is called to public. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to comment about any matter relating to city business not listed on tonight's agenda. The comments that are discussed under call to public may or may not be acted on by the council during this meeting. There's a 4-minute time limit. Please stand to be recognized if you wish to address the council. Nope. All right. Old business, number 3, we don't have any, so we'll go to 4A. Consider final plat for Burnham subdivision.
Yes, council. This is a plat of land that we annexed several months ago. It's at the southwest corner of 95th and Kill Creek Road. When we annexed it, it was 2 tracts of property, and it's still just two lots. But the configuration is a little differently than it was before, and there's some right-of-way dedication on this. So we decided it didn't be platted. I think it was a question when we annexed or when we rezoned it as to whether or not it needed to be replatted. We decided it was better if it was. So the Planning Commission had a look at this in November. They recommended approval with a few conditions. Those conditions have now been met related to the legal description and the dedication of the right-of-way. So as it is now, it's a little under 6 acres, about 5.75 acres. Both tracks, lot 1, it contains, if you're familiar with the corner, it contains the metal outbuilding on it that sets up a little bit closer to 95th. Lot 2 contains the single-family residential house that was on the property. I'll snooze that. So we're recommending approval on a final plat. The council accepts the easements and rights of way and doesn't technically approve the plat. So I would recommend that the council do that this evening.
Questions on the plat? Not a motion, please.
I'll make a motion we approve the final plat as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Carmichael,
Yes.
Daniels,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Murdoch.
Yes.
Council, motion carried.
Okay.
The mayor will vote on. Mayor needs to vote on that as well.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick.
I missed that.
Do we need to
You're welcome.
accept the easements and right of way?
I think that was by the
Yeah, that's
approval.
essentially what you just
Right. Number B, consider acceptance of tract of land adjacent to Lexington Avenue and Kill Creek.
Yes, council. I think it was
Matt Little
Matt
contacted
Little
me.
contacted you
Yeah, said they had a
initially.
piece of property they didn't really want anymore.
Right. Yeah. So the bank, I think, looks like they've owned this parcel since the late '80s, but didn't realize it because it was not taxed at all, had a zero value, and so they didn't pay a tax bill on it. But they were the owner. I think it was a clerical error at the appraiser's office that did assign a value to the tract and a tax bill of $35 or something that brought this to the bank's attention. And when they found out where it was and what it was, pretty clear to them that they had no interest in owning it. So they've asked the city if we'd be interested in taking ownership of the tract for what it's worth. And so that's the issue for discussion tonight. I've highlighted the tract here. At least Ames has it drawn on their appraisal maps. You know, I'm not a land surveyor, but I've kind of retraced the legal description, and it roughly fits this, but kind of doesn't in some ways too. But essentially, the tract is mostly within the bed and banks of Kill Creek, essentially. So it will never have any value. And the county has since corrected their clerical error, assigning no value to it. So the bank wants to know if they could quit claim deed this to the city. I don't know if there's any harm in it. It is adjacent to the Lexington right of way, so it's not just some landlocked parcel out there somewhere. I don't know if it'll ever have any use for us, but if anything needs to be done with the creek,
Right, exactly. We would have an easement to repair the banks,
yeah,
whether we owned it or not. But this would just
yeah,
clarify ownership of that corner.
I think it'd be easy enough. There's like
That bin.
administratively, there's not much burden associated. We'd have to tell the county we own it and assign no value. But,
So the property at Lexington up to the creek, where it has Gathering Place Park, whose property?
That's
That city?
right away.
that's right.
Yeah.
Right away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, city of the city.
And then everything else around it's private ownership?
That's golf course, and
Golf
this
course.
is JT Development.
Okay.
Yep. I think
And
this
Mike,
is
can you
Monty
click back?
Bowers below there.
Click back into the piece in question, 'cause I think it's unplatted. So my guess is, go on to the appraisal info. Yeah, go back to where you were. Go back to appraisal info. So I think it's a remnant is what ended up happening.
Oh,
I think that's
be,
how.
yeah.
Well, it actually got it on the sheriff's, so it probably was a remnant. That
Yeah, see,
somebody
it's
didn't pay
it's an
taxes.
unplatted piece. So somewhere, probably somebody described the creek for the golf course, and then
Right.
JT's got something, and it ended up being a remnant that
Mhm.
nobody paid taxes on. So that's how the bank ended up with it.
Yeah, and I don't think Matt really knew how the bank ended
Yeah.
up with it. He
It
had
was
the
a-
deed.
Sheriff's deed from like 1980 or something, 89.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I saw the deed. It was,
Did I put that?
Yeah, it's on here.
Mhm.
yeah, it was in the report.
Yeah,
It was unusual.
yeah. For what it's
So-
worth.
It was
Would that have been,
88.
The suburban mini
would
mart.
that have been where the old mini mart
Yeah, that's what it says.
Adjacent- You're right. it
and
was-
the Marshall's laundromat, that little piece
Mhm.
down in there? Before
Huh.
they shut down the old laundromat?
That's right. Looks like it's what it is.
Now that
Did they
all
used to
have
do the
it.
laundry down the creek or something? So I've
We
heard
could
there's a
bring that back
laundry-
again
Yeah,
here.
down at
huh?
the washroom. But there used to
Makes
be
sense.
little building.
a laundromat
We could have a
down
boat
there.
ramp access right there onto the
And then it
creek.
was a mini mart for a while.
Well, it could be ours for the low price of free.
We ready for a
So
motion?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to make a motion to authorize him.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to authorize the city attorney to prepare a quitclaim deed to accept ownership of, and I'm going to give it tax property ID number AF 221228-4004. Because you don't have any other better way to describe it, do you?
No, that's
So, Lan, I just pulled that off the
I see it.
tax property ID on the Exhibit A.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Daniels,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Hannah Michael.
Yes.
And Mayor, I'm not sure if you vote on this.
No, he does not.
All right. Thank you. The motion carries.
All right. Item C, consider approval of fourth addendum to 2016 mowing contract.
Yeah, Patrick, I wonder if you want to take this one?
Sure. Council, just included in the memo a few years ago, we considered or did go back out to bid on the contract, and I included the bids that we received back in 2016. In talking to Jay and Ron Creason, they essentially both sort of administer the contract. They were supportive of just renewing with Kansas Land Management. He's asked for a small increase over last year's rates, and those are reflected in the red text on the attachment to the fourth addendum. But if you're supportive of that, if you just make a motion to authorize the mayor to enter into that fourth addendum as written.
Okay. Any questions from council on the proposed contract addendum?
I'll make a motion to approve the renewal of mowing contract with Kansas Land Management by authorizing mayor to sign the fourth addendum as written.
All right, we have a
I'll
motion,
second the motion.
a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lane,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yes.
Murdoch,
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Motion carried.
Okay. Executive session, we have none tonight, I believe, right? All right. Advisory reports, Mike.
Two things. We have a park board meeting on Monday evening, and we'll be kicking off then the public information phase of the referendum question. We'll be finalizing some tweaks on some of that material at our park board meeting, but we'll start the social media campaign, not a campaign, but process of that information. You'll be starting to see that at some point next week. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be starting that process. So that's what the park board will be doing. Also, Rob, I think you had a question about RG Fiber.
Mhm.
They're still they still haven't completed the deadline that was supposed to have been completed by the end of November. Liquidated damage are still accruing at a rate of $1,000 a day. I've been out since before Christmas, so I didn't get a chance to reset with them today, but I'll do that tomorrow and get an update out. Before I left for Christmas, they had probably 5 or 6 locations where they had to tie conduits together. They had one driveway to bore, and then they would be ready for testing. So I don't know how much further along they are than that, but we do know that the January 21st is their deadline for the provision of service. So you remember the deadline that they've passed now is the construction of the conduits. But January 21st is the provision of service south in those areas south of K10 and in Danny's, that one area north of K10 as well. So I'll get a reset on that and let you all know exactly where we stand on that. I did a couple weeks ago sent out a link to a Google map of that route with updated pictures, and so we've updated that a couple times since then. So if you're interested, you can kind of go and click along on there and see some pictures from I think about a week ago when the last pictures were there. So just kind of as a way to keep that continually updated. So we're still working on that. Yeah, and Happy New Year. That was all I had.
Okay. Patrick.
Nothing for me. Thank you for allowing me to participate by telephone from New York.
You're welcome. Lana, what do you got for us tonight?
Nothing from me. Happy New Year.
Okay. Council comments. Danny, you want anything?
Nothing, Mayor, and Happy New Year to all the council and everybody. Have a good time in New York.
Thank you.
Rob?
The only thing is, tagging, at least for tonight, is tagging on to the RG discussion. Had a call from one of the residents out there who has been less informed by the competitor and was wondering if at least there was a way to kind of update the residents that are waiting for it as far as the time frame, the fact that the city is actually taking action of the fines are being levied until it gets done, informing them of the January 21 deadline is when it is supposed to be happening for service, that if it doesn't happen, there are fines happening, to where they just know the real information as far as fines are being levied,
Yeah.
action is being taken, progress is being monitored, just kind of a PR side on that side, to where they know the city's not just sitting back doing nothing on it.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I wonder how best to do that. I mean, a social media thing, or maybe just on our Facebook page or website.
Yeah, it could just. I mean, it could just be similar.
I don't know
our fiber updates or project, just like project updates.
Yeah.
Could be on the website, because I'd be
Yeah.
afraid if you put it out on social media stuff,
Yeah.
you're just going to create a lot
Then
of
you create
back and
multiple-
forth dialogue.
And
So
actually,
I think it'd be good on the
I was
the
going to say,
website.
I think having a web page for that update that is continually updated,
Yeah.
to where they have the information, they have the deadlines, they have, if the deadlines
map.
aren't met, that the penalties are in place, and then they can just monitor that website and go, oh, okay, this is where things stand, this is what's going on.
The link to that map.
So
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah. I'm sure that if you got one question.
Really, for the customers, the only real thing is that the 21st is the deadline that they should be able to get service. I mean, everything that's happened up
Yeah.
until now really has no effect on the
Well,
fact that their
could-
service is
Right.
the
That's the
21st
deadline.
of, and so if that doesn't happen, then, I can see a big deal. But I mean, that's really the date that they want to know.
It
I
is.
mean, all the rest is kind of irrelevant. They could have had it done at the end of July, but not had service until the end, January
Correct.
21st anyway.
Correct, and they wouldn't have been.
And it wouldn't have been any
violation of
different.
ours, right?
So,
I think the only thing is Zoom's reliance on that conduit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Because
Well,
otherwise,
and that-
they're
that's
going to.
that's where the individual I talked to was confused about the deadlines of when. Part of that confusion was based upon what Zoom had said. Part of it was just the fact that RG had actually said we should be able to have it by a certain time frame. So it's more to clear up confusion and let people know the January 21 deadline is what our focus really was, of get you service by then, and if not, here's where things stand. So it's just clearing up information and misinformation, and just
Because on the provision of service thing, there are customers already online, such as myself.
Right.
So service has been
Starts,
provided.
yes,
Yeah, and from what I understand, Clearview City may go online within a couple of weeks.
right.
So that deadline's probably going to have been met. It's just the conduit accessibility.
there's a lot of homes there still yet to spin up service, though.
Well, how did we define
All the
Providing
all
service.
the unserved
Well,
areas.
yeah, it's
It's the unserved
I think
areas.
Available.
he has to have fiber blown in the line and ready to take customers.
yeah, that's right.
And-
If-
right?
customer-
But I guess what I'm getting at is if he's got it to Clearview City,
Do they
he
have-
will have had fiber in.
right.
But
So-
not the
because
other.
But
the
does
problems
he have
are-
to have fiber to their house if they've asked for it by
That's
the
the deal.
21st?
So as I read the contract, the provision of service is if anybody in that unserved area, that orange area,
They're
calls
lit-
up and says, "I want service," then they should be able to get it. Now the drop doesn't have to be buried.
yeah, they have to be lit up. It
They
can
have
be
to
a
be lit
temporary
up.
line to their house
Right.
at that point in time.
Right. They have to be able to. They can't hear.
And
No,
so,
sir, we're not.
so that would include Danny's neighborhood
Would.
way out
Yeah.
east. That
Corliss
includes
Court
everything
and
east of
93rd
Corliss Court.
Those are the two.
Corliss Court, as I understand, nobody took service on
Well,
Corliss
it'd have to
Court.
be east of Corliss Court.
They're east.
Well,
Yeah,
they're east of Corliss Court.
lit up.
Yeah.
Not the person I talked to.
I'm not sure if they're lit east. Of
They're not.
Corliss.
They're not,
Not east of
They're not lit up
Court?
east of Corliss
I'm not
Court
sure
yet.
that they're. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about that.
That's
So-
why it'd be good to get that updated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where you could also say these are the areas that have service available to them now, and these are the areas where it's supposed to be coming by.
Yeah,
So
we can do that. Yeah.
that's all for tonight.
Thank you, Rob. Lori, anything tonight?
no, I don't have anything. Thank you, Mayor.
Kevin,
Real quick, I saw a report on home sale prices in the Kansas City area going up. Like, did you see that where DeSoto's home sale
Right.
prices are up 22%? Which I guess is a good thing for sellers, but
I
thought
think
it was
it's a lot of
interesting that
what we have available on the market right now.
happens to be higher than the average.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. That's all I have.
All right.
Oh yeah, Burger King's open.
Burger King's open. I have, I think, probably just one item. Our Congresswoman Sharice Davids has invited all the mayors to a roundtable in a couple weeks, and she's asked us to share with her what we believe are our three most important topics or issues that we're facing as a community. And so if you want to think about that and shoot them to Mike or me, and I will put them in my list, and then I'll send her over three if anybody's got any. I mean, I just got the email today, so I haven't really thought about what I would tell her is our most important initiatives we need her to work on in Washington this upcoming year. But think about it. If you have any ideas, I would be welcome to hear them and share them with our Congresswoman. Let's see. I saw an email from Sarah that the chamber dinner is coming up at the end of the month. Was that the 24th? Something like that?
Yes,
Friday the 24th. So keep that in mind if you would like to attend. We need to get something going on that.
That's down
At Cedar Valley
Cedar
Forest
Valley.
this year.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
So
I think that's all I've got tonight.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, guys.